By gum, it's cold today, which is why I'm glad I painted the engine a week ago when it was actually quite hot, unseasonably hot in fact. Now it's more like autumnal weather. So here it is, resplendent in duck egg blue, a colour I had a tin of for well over 10 years now. It's more green than blue. So yeah, I'll just give it a coat of paint to match what I discovered under all the grime. With its ex-Ministry of Defence origins. I've been reliably informed that's how the Ministry of Defence painted their engines. And it is actually incredibly difficult to paint an engine with it in the car and all assembled like this. It's very, very hard and awkward to do. Considering that, I'm quite happy with the result. I'm not too keen on the colour, but that's how it was and that's how it is now, so it's going to stay like that. At least it's a nice light colour. Still a few areas left to do. As I say, very, very hard to access. I'm not worried or bothered about having dripped that on the starter motor, because I'll take the starter off eventually anyway to clean it and service it, and that can receive a coat of black paint. But yeah, it's much, much easier to do with the engine out of the car and on a bench. Having said that, it didn't present too many problems. I've removed the heater pipe, which has turned out to be an incorrect part. I did have my suspicions about it, and it was confirmed by some other people with these cars. I thought it was a bit sus because, well, first of all, it was unsupported along its run. It was only secured here at the stub, and then at the heater hose there was nothing attaching it to the engine, so that's quite a long pipe to be unsupported. And it does indeed turn out that the correct pipe was steel, and that it was supported by attachment to the this nut on the cylinder head there. The other thing that made me think that this copper pipe I've got is incorrect is that it deformed under the hose clips. It got crushed, so it wasn't of adequate thickness, you see, so I had to reshape it. But it'll do for the time being. It'll do the job. It does the job for the time being, and it will. So yeah, nice coat of engine paint, and it's not just to make it look pretty. Just in case you're thinking, well, why am I doing all these cosmetic jobs? It's not purely cosmetic at all. Paint provides a protective layer, a preservative, and it's also, having a clean painted engine makes it easier to see any defects such as fluid leakage, coolant leakage, oil leakage, etc. Any leak from these joints at the cylinder head or the fuel pump there, distributor, drive, oil lines, etc. They would be much harder to see on a filthy engine and you know, coated in grime as it was before. Much harder to see, and now it's all dead easy to see. I don't think there are any leaks. I've certainly not noticed any, not when I was cleaning it up, so I don't have to worry about that. But it's just easier should one develop. Top tip from me is to place pennies in the spark plug holes, tail side up, so I'm not defacing the coin, the Queen's head. God rest her soul. And I'm gonna put the spark plugs back in now. I will be painting the dipstick bright red. I've got some post office red paint for that. Make that visible. It just, you know, all makes it look a lot nicer. And the other thing with a clean engine is it's much more pleasant to work on as well. Not getting constant oily hands and oil on your sleeves, etc. So there it is. Just getting there bit by bit, just doing the little jobs. Well, not really a little job, as it took several hours, but with the engine nice and neat, I can start on the engine bay, stripping components like this off, this bracket, painting them, stripping them, treating them, halting the rust and painting them so they don't disintegrate, deteriorate any further. And ultimately the welding. Well, the welding will be done first, of course, before any paint goes on here. But these components can certainly be removed and seen to in advance of that.